In 2007, Journey was finished, washed up, a relic of the past. Their lead singer was gone, and so were their glory days. Or so everyone thought. But sometimes, when you're at rock bottom, you find hope in the strangest places. For Journey, that place was a grainy YouTube video of a cover band in Manila. The Fall from Grace. In 2006, Journey faced a crisis. The band that once dominated arenas and topped charts was now struggling to find its voice. Steve Perry, the golden-voiced frontman who led them to superstardom, had left years ago, and Journey was floundering in a rapidly changing music landscape. The band's attempts to move forward without Perry had yielded mixed results. Their 1996 album, Trial by Fire, failed to recapture their earlier magic. Journey cycled through lead singers Steve Ogery and Jeff Scott Soto, but neither could fill the void left by Perry's departure. As the years passed, the band's popularity waned significantly. The energy that once electrified stadiums now felt muted and hollow. Many shows barely filled half the seats, and longtime fans left disappointed. Critics questioned whether Journey could ever regain their former glory without their iconic singer. The band that once dominated radio waves was now struggling to stay relevant, their albums gathering dust on store shelves. Neil Schon, the band's guitarist and founding member, felt the weight of their decline. In an interview, he expressed his frustration. "There were guys being pitched to us, people in LA and New York, that have been doing the classic rock thing for a long time, and I really was not moved by it." The desperation in his voice was palpable. As 2007 rolled around, Journey's future looked bleak. They faced a grim reality: reinvent themselves or fade into rock and roll history. The band members couldn't have known that their salvation was practicing in a dingy Manila bar, belting out cover songs for a handful of patrons. In their darkest hour, Journey was about to embark on their most unexpected adventure yet. As they teetered on the edge of obscurity, guitarist Neil Schon turned to an unlikely source, one that would change the course of their lives forever. A YouTube miracle. Neil Schon sat in front of his computer late one night in 2007, exhausted and desperate. Journey's decline weighed heavily on him as he scrolled through YouTube videos, searching for a glimmer of hope. He typed in Journey covers, watching video after video, until suddenly he froze. On his screen was a man with an uncanny ability to channel Steve Perry's voice. Arnel Pineda, fronting a Filipino cover band called The Zoo, was belting out Journey classics with startling accuracy. Shun's heart raced as he watched more videos. In an interview later, he recalled, "I didn't think it was that crazy. I just watched 40 videos and he's singing all songs that are in English." But doubt crept in. Was this too good to be true? The guitarist reached out to his bandmates, his excitement tempered by their skepticism. Jonathan Cain, Journey's keyboardist, voiced concerns. "Does he speak English? Has he been on big stages like we play before? Can we take somebody like that and just throw them into the circus?" The band debated fiercely. Taking a chance on an unknown singer from halfway across the world seemed like a massive risk. Despite the doubts, Schon couldn't shake the feeling that they'd found something special. He tracked down Noel Gomez, the friend who had uploaded Pineda's videos, and got Arnel's contact information. With a mix of hope and trepidation, Schon sent an email that would change lives forever. Meanwhile, in Manila, Arnel Pineda was struggling to make ends meet. When he received Shun's email, he thought it was a joke. "When my friend forwarded the email to me, I was just laughing," Pineda later recounted. But as reality set in, so did the pressure and uncertainty of the opportunity. As Arnel boarded the plane to San Francisco with his manager, Bert de Leon, he had no idea he was flying towards his destiny. The struggling singer from Manila was about to face the audition of a lifetime, with the fate of a legendary rock band hanging in the balance. But Arnel's journey to Journey was far from a fairy tale. The road ahead would be paved with challenges that would test his resilience, talent, and spirit in ways he could never have imagined. The gloom of his past struggles still lingered, casting a shadow over this unexpected chance at stardom. From rags to riches, almost. Arnel Pineda's journey to rock stardom was paved with hardship and heartache. Born in 1967 in Manila's crowded Sampaloc district, Arnel's early life was far from the bright lights of arena rock. At 13, tragedy struck when his mother died, leaving the family buried in debt. Forced to quit school, young Arnel found himself alone on the unforgiving streets of Manila. For 2 long years, park benches and the cold ground outside friends' houses became his bed. Scavenging for scraps to sell and rationing small packs of biscuits, Arnel fought to survive each day. Yet even in his darkest moments, music remained his lifeline. At 15, Arnel's powerful voice began turning heads in local bands. But success in Manila's cutthroat music scene proved elusive. Health issues and addiction threatened to silence his dreams forever. By 2006, performing cover songs in smoky bars with his band The Zoo, Arnel was ready to give up on music altogether. Then came an email that seemed too good to be true. Journey's Neil Shun had stumbled upon Arnel's YouTube videos and wanted him to audition. For a man who once counted biscuits to survive, the invitation was almost unbelievable. But Arnel's shot at the big time came with its own set of demons. As he prepared to leave the only world he'd ever known, the ghosts of his past threatened to derail his American dream before it even began. The challenges ahead would make his previous struggles pale in comparison. Culture shock and skepticism. Arnel Pineda's arrival in the United States was a shock to his system. The glittering streets of San Francisco were a world away from Manila's crowded alleys. As he met Journey for the first time, fear and excitement battled within him. This was his big break, but the enormity of the challenge loomed large. Adapting to American life proved tough for Arnel. Despite speaking English, he struggled with fast-paced slang and humor. Simple tasks like ordering food became daunting. Loneliness crept in as he missed the familiar comforts of home. "I get really homesick inside," he admitted. The cold reality of hotel rooms and rehearsal spaces, a stark contrast to the warmth of family and friends. Journey's members had their doubts. Neil Shun wondered, can we take somebody like that and just throw them into the circus? The pressure on Arnel was immense. He wasn't only proving himself as a singer, but also adapting to an entirely new way of life. As news of Arnel's appointment spread, a wave of skepticism crashed over social media. Fans and critics alike questioned how this unknown singer from Manila could possibly replace Steve Perry. Each negative comment chipped away at Arnel's confidence, the weight of Journey's legacy heavy on his shoulders. Jonathan Cain, Journey's keyboardist, acknowledged the uphill battle they faced. "There's always going to be the naysayers who can't live with anything but exactly what it was from the beginning," he said. The enormity of the task ahead became overwhelmingly clear to Arnel. As he prepared for his first show, doubt crept in like a thick fog. "I started being terrified. I got weak. The tips of my fingers were getting numb," Arnel described. His dream of rock stardom now felt more like a nightmare. Could this underdog from the Philippines silence the critics and win over Journey's devoted fans? As he stepped onto the stage for the first time, the fate of his career and possibly Journey's future hung in the balance. Trial by fire. The stakes were sky-high as Arnel Pineda faced his moment of truth. Journey's future hung in the balance, resting on the shoulders of a man who had been singing in Manila bars just months earlier. As he approached the microphone at the Vina del Mar International Song Festival in Chile, fear gripped him. His fingers went numb, his breath shallow. Could this unlikely hero really save Journey from fading away? On February 21, 2008, Arnel stood before 20,000 faces, the weight of expectation crushing him. "I started being terrified," he later admitted. "I got weak. The tips of my fingers were getting numb. My breathing became faint." It felt like standing on the edge of a cliff, about to leap into the unknown. As Journey launched into separate ways, worlds apart, Arnel's voice rang out. The crowd's skepticism melted away, replaced by awe. Jonathan Cain, Journey's keyboardist, watched the audience go absolutely nuts for their new frontman. But Arnel's battle was far from over. The physical demands of the show were intense, especially for someone used to small clubs. His bandmates worried about his vocal stamina, urging him to conserve energy. The pressure to live up to Steve Perry's legacy loomed large, a constant reminder of the impossible task before him. Despite these challenges, Arnel's performance was electric. Dean Castronovo, Journey's drummer, marveled at his dynamic stage presence, comparing him to a mix of David Lee Roth and Bruce Lee. As the band tore through their hits, Arnel's voice soared, breathing new life into classic Journey anthems. The concert, broadcast live to 25 million viewers across South America, amplified the pressure to an almost unbearable degree. Each note Arnel sang carried the weight of Journey's legacy and future. As the final chords of the second encore faded, a hush fell over the crowd. The verdict was in. Against all odds, Arnel had won over Journey's fans and silenced the critics. Jonathan Cain summed it up. "Is the guy a winner? Yeah, he's a winner. He's a clutch player." But as the adrenaline wore off, reality set in. One successful show wasn't enough to secure Journey's future. The road ahead was long and treacherous, filled with more challenges and potential pitfalls. The uncertainty of what lay ahead hung over the band like a dark cloud as they prepared for their next move. The resurrection of a rock legend. Journey's victory with Arnel's live debut was just the beginning. As they entered the studio to record Revelation, the pressure was palpable. The band knew this album could make or break their legacy, and the weight of expectations hung heavy in the air. The recording process was tense, with band members anxiously wondering how fans would receive Arnel's voice on the record. Would longtime Journey devotees embrace this new chapter, or reject it outright? As the album took shape, their nervousness grew. When Revelation was released on June 3, 2008, the response was mixed. Critics were divided, and fans debated online. Some praised Arnel's vocal prowess, while others clung to nostalgia for the classic Journey sound. But as the dust settled, something unexpected happened. Revelation debuted at number 5 on the Billboard Top 200 album charts, Journey's highest charting album since Trial by Fire with Steve Perry. The band was stunned by the reception. Within days, over 336,000 units had been sold, and the album quickly achieved gold and then platinum status. Jonathan Cain later described the significance of the moment, saying, "We recorded our greatest hits with our brand new singer from the Philippines, Arnel Pineda, and it's unbelievable when you listen to it." Neil Shun echoed this sentiment, expressing the band's renewed energy and excitement about their future. The album's success opened doors that had long been closed to Journey. A world tour kicked off, featuring sold-out concerts that reminded everyone of the band's enduring appeal. The financial success was staggering, with concert revenue reaching approximately $35.7 million in 2008 alone. Yet, as Journey basked in the glow of their unexpected comeback, a nagging question remained. Had they truly reclaimed their place in rock history? Or was this just a temporary resurgence? The future of the band hung in the balance, with the weight of their legacy pressing down on them more than ever before. The gloom of uncertainty still lingered, casting a shadow over their apparent triumph. Journey's gamble on Arnel Pineda paid off, marking the beginning of a new chapter for the band. They continued to tour successfully, even rocking the Super Bowl 43 pregame show in 2009. But Pineda's time with Journey hasn't been easy. The pressure to live up to Steve Perry's legacy weighed heavily on him, testing his resolve daily. Despite the challenges, Pineda's determination never wavered. Jonathan Cain praised his dedication, saying, "He sings his heart out every night, and it's not an easy menu." Pineda's story is a powerful example of music's ability to transcend cultural barriers, with a Filipino singer raised in poverty, now fronting one of America's most iconic rock bands. Journey's ongoing success with Pineda proves their music still strikes a chord with fans. Neil Shun described finding Pineda as a breath of fresh air for the band. Through the darkest times and moments of doubt, Journey found a way to keep believing. Their music, a beacon of hope in an often gloomy world.